In the United States Marine Corps, junior Marines eat first. Senior leaders wait until everyone else has been served. Nobody needs a motivational poster to explain the meaning. Rank comes with a cost. The leader accepts responsibility for the people in their care before accepting the rewards of the position. Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek asks why some teams would risk themselves for one another while other teams fall apart even when everybody is talented and well paid. His answer is not charisma. It is safety. Think about the best team you have ever joined. Could you admit a mistake? Ask for help. Tell the truth without immediately protecting yourself? When the answer is yes, people do more than work beside one another. They begin to trust one another. Sinek calls this the circle of safety. Human groups have always faced danger outside the tribe. Predators, scarcity, rivals, and uncertainty. We survive because the people inside the group cooperated. A strong leader expands the circle. Employees spend less energy defending themselves from colleagues and more energy solving the problems outside the organization. When the circle shrinks, even an ordinary meeting becomes political. People hide mistakes, copy senior leaders on defensive emails, compete for credit, and avoid risks that might expose them. The company may still look busy, but wait a second. How much intelligence is being spent on self-protection instead of the customer? Safety does not mean low standards or endless comfort. It means honesty will not be punished more harshly than the problem itself. One story makes this idea physical. A military pilot known by the call sign Johnny Bravo flew through dangerous weather and enemy fire to support troops on the ground. He could not clearly see the people below, but he knew they needed him. Why take that risk? Because they would have done the same for him. That sentence captures the kind of trust Sinek cares about. People do not sacrifice because a leader orders loyalty into existence. They sacrifice when experience tells them the group would protect them too. Now bring that back to an ordinary workplace. Nobody is flying into enemy fire, but the social question remains. If I report a problem, will you help solve it or use it against me? Every answer either expands or shrinks the circle of safety. Sinek uses brain chemistry to explain why different environments feel so different. Endorphins help us push through pain. Dopamine rewards progress and keeps us chasing goals. Serotonin supports pride and social status. Oxytocin strengthens trust, generosity, and human connection. None of these is bad. The problem is imbalance. Dopamine makes checking off a task feel good, but a culture built only around targets can become addicted to the next number. People hit the metric while damaging customers, colleagues, or the future. Trust develops more slowly. It grows through kept promises, shared effort, recognition, and service. So look at your own workplace. Which behavior gets the quickest reward? Helping someone succeed or making your individual number look impressive? The system teaches people which instinct to use. Cortisol is part of the same story. It prepares us for danger. That response is useful when danger is brief. But in a workplace where fear never switches off, the alarm stays active all day. People become less generous, less creative, and more focused on survival. They read neutral messages as threats. They protect information. They avoid the risk of trying something new. Here is something easy to miss. The people may not be the problem. The environment may be calling the wrong behavior out of them. A leader cannot remove every deadline or disagreement, but they can reduce unpredictable punishment, hidden information, public humiliation, and arbitrary rules. What would change if your team did not have to scan the room for danger before doing its best work? This becomes real in Sinek's story of Bob Chapman and Barry-Wehmiller. Chapman acquired struggling manufacturing companies. Instead of arriving with consultants and announcing a grand transformation, he began by listening to employees. At one factory, people trusted one another on the shop floor, but became cautious when the office bell marked the start of management's day. Rules separated workers from phones, coffee, and basic autonomy. Chapman saw adults being treated like children. So the company removed some of those barriers. The message was simple. If we trust people with expensive machinery, why would we not trust them with a telephone? No single policy created the culture. Many small decisions changed the conditions in which people worked. And when the conditions changed, behavior changed with them. Then the financial crisis arrived. and Barry-Wehmiller faced a serious drop in orders. A conventional response would have been layoffs. Instead, the company created a furlough program. Everyone, from the CEO to the secretary, took 4 weeks of unpaid leave. The idea was that everybody would suffer a little so nobody had to suffer a lot. But think about what employees noticed. The burden was shared. People even traded furlough time with colleagues who could afford it less. A financial policy became evidence that the circle of safety was real. This does not mean layoffs can always be avoided. Economics still matters. The deeper question is about the order of sacrifice. When difficulty arrives, do leaders protect themselves first and send the cost downward, or enter the problem with everyone else? Another company in the book, Next Jump, made an even more unusual promise: lifetime employment. People would not be fired simply to balance the books, and poor performance would be coached rather than immediately removed. Serious violations of character were different, but an honest mistake was not treated as proof that the person was disposable. At first, this sounds crazy. Wouldn't everyone become lazy? Instead, the company became far more careful about hiring and far more serious about training. The lesson is not that every company should copy the policy. It is that when firing is no longer the easiest management tool, leaders must improve the systems around selection, coaching, and development. Safety is not refusing accountability. It is replacing fear-based accountability with responsibility for helping people grow. As organizations grow, another danger appears: abstraction. Customers become data points. Employees become headcount. Communities become markets. Distance makes harmful decisions easier because the human consequence is no longer in the room. A leader can remove 1,000 jobs on one clean slide and never meet a family whose life changes. A product team can design an addictive feature while discussing only engagement. Nobody has to wake up intending to be cruel. The system simply removes the face that would activate empathy. Modern work needs dashboards, so the answer is not to stop measuring. It is to reconnect the number to a person. When you review a metric, who carries the cost if that number improves? That question can reveal what the spreadsheet leaves out. Sinek calls an extreme version of this imbalance destructive abundance. When an organization has enough size, money, and power, leaders can become insulated from the people affected by their decisions. Protecting the results begins to matter more than protecting the people who produce them. Short-term rewards grow louder. Social responsibility grows quieter. Here's the twist. Success itself can weaken the habits that created success. Scarcity once forced cooperation. Abundance allows distance, layers, and self-protection to grow. Have you ever seen a team become less human as it became more successful? The remedy is not pretending the company is small. It is building deliberate contact across layers. Leaders visiting the front line, listening without a stage tour, and seeing consequences before approving the decision. Culture follows what leaders reward and model. A company may talk about trust, but if bad news gets punished, people learn to hide it. It may praise teamwork, but if only individual stars get promoted, cooperation becomes optional. It may put integrity on the wall, but the real test comes when telling the truth costs money, status, or comfort. Anyone can keep a promise when the promise is convenient. This is why the phrase, "leaders eat last," makes hypocrisy visible. A leader cannot demand sacrifice as a permanent privilege for everyone below. What happens when the numbers get difficult? Who gets protected? Who gets blamed? Who gives something up first? Those moments teach the culture far more powerfully than a speech at the company meeting. Integrity is especially important because trust forms through patterns, not one impressive gesture. People watch whether words and actions remain connected over time. Sinek contrasts organizations that admit wrongdoing with those that hide behind polished language. We are usually willing to accept that leaders make mistakes. What destroys trust is the sense that they are protecting their image while asking everyone else to believe the story. Think about a manager saying, "I made the wrong call. Here's what happened. Here is what I will do next." That may be uncomfortable, but it gives the team stable ground. Spin does the opposite. It asks people to deny what they can already see. Trust does not require perfection. It requires enough honesty that people know where they stand. Leadership, then, is not limited to a title. The person who shares credit, protects a colleague from unfair blame, tells the truth when silence would be safer, or stays calm when others panic is strengthening the circle of safety. A formal leader has more power over the environment, but every person can make the group slightly safer or slightly more dangerous through ordinary choices. Now ask yourself, when somebody on your team makes an honest mistake, what is your first instinct? Help, judge, distance yourself, or make sure everyone knows it was not your fault? That small reaction sends a large signal. People do not experience leadership as a theory. They experience it in moments when they become vulnerable and discover what the group does next. Strong relationships often grow through shared struggle. People who solve a difficult problem together develop trust that cannot be manufactured by a motivational speech. The key word is shared. Struggle imposed by leaders who remain protected creates resentment. Struggle carried together creates belonging. Modern workplaces sometimes try to replace connection with perks. Free food and cheerful slogans may be pleasant, but they do not answer the deeper questions. Will my team support me when I make an honest mistake? Does my manager know me as a person? Will leadership tell the truth when the situation changes? Belonging grows through repeated evidence that your contribution matters and your vulnerability will be handled with care. Which of those signals is missing from your team right now? If you want to apply this book tomorrow, start with 3 questions. What truth are people afraid to tell me? Who is carrying a cost that should be shared by someone with more authority? And which behavior do our rewards encourage, regardless of what our values statement says? Then choose one visible act. Admit a mistake before asking others to do the same. Give credit away. Protect someone who raised a difficult issue. Spend time with the people closest to the customer. And do not ask only, do you feel safe? That question often receives a polite yes. Try this instead. What problem are we discussing privately that we have not been willing to raise together? The answer may be uncomfortable, but discomfort is often the entrance to trust. My biggest takeaway from Leaders Eat Last is that people do not offer trust because a leader demands loyalty. They offer it when the leader repeatedly proves that the group is safe. The privilege of leadership comes after the responsibility. When danger appears, the leader moves toward it. When sacrifice is necessary, the leader shares it. When somebody becomes vulnerable, the leader protects dignity without abandoning standards. That is why leaders eat last. What is one thing a leader has done that made you feel genuinely safe, trusted, or valued? Leave your answer in the comments, and tell me which book you would like to explore next. This channel turns the world's most valuable books into clear ideas you can understand and use, one book at a time. One book, 10 minutes. Better you.